today's discussion is themed God's design for relationships or marriages. So we are going to delve right in. Our first question, want to create the context of red flags, where when you're in love, you seem to be blind, or you are blind because the emotions are all over the place and you don't seem to see some things. Or on the other hand, we are looking at where people are portraying themselves when they are ready for courtship and they are trying to hide some things where you don't see some things until you get married to them. So the question is, how do you identify red flags when choosing a potential spouse?
When it comes to red flags and identifying red flags, I think that there is a common denominator for red flags. Um, Red flag in any relationship looks like abuse in all forms. Anything that is a red flag is a catalyst to abuse. And so the moment you start seeing something that looks like an abuse of your emotions, an abuse of your finances, an abuse of your love, an abuse of your respect or regard for that person, it's a red flag. That's the baseline, right? Are they taking advantage? Are they taken for granted? Are they underlooking or underestimating? When you begin to see these things and you ask those questions, and some of these things can come in the form of like a consistent action or inaction of the person. The reason why I don't want to pinpoint one particular thing is what might be a red flag looking in your marriage will look different in somebody else's, right? There might be somebody whose partner's red flag is consistently being dishonest. Like they can lie. um they are holding water. What are you holding? Coke.
Fanta.
Like I don't know if I'm getting the point through to you.
Yeah.
So look out for something that looks like, so it can even go to the extent of an abuse or disrespect or disregard to the amount of respect that you as a human being deserve, right? And the moment you begin to see some of these things, I beg run. Thank you.
Oh, you want to applaud Lady Pastor? The baseline for a red flag is abuse. So let's shine our eyes, Mr. Harry.
So to the question, I think that Lady Pastor has said it all. The list is endless. I mean, like Lady Pastor said, what we may look a red flag to you or your relationship may not be the same to another person. But one of the things I also try to look at is, when you look at someone that is not under authority, many a times the people that we enter into relationships with don't have people that they are accountable to. And so they tend to do you anyhow. And when problems come and you say, okay, let's go and talk to my pastor, I will not go. Or maybe something is happening in the marriage or something is happening in the relationship. I think that we need to speak to some, I will not go. And even if people in authority call them, they can look in their face and tell them, I will not come. So in relationships, one of the biggest red flags, is someone who doesn't have anybody they are accountable to. They don't want to speak to any pastor. When you tell, they want to do what they want to do. And when you tell them, let's go and see this one, they say no. We must be very, very careful, because in marriage, things will happen along the line. And sometimes we may not see eye to eye. But when we have a third person who is like, okay, I think you should have done it like this, that should have done like this, I think it brings some sort of, peace and all of that. So if we don't have someone who is accountable to an elderly person, that's one of the biggest red flags you should check out. Yeah, thank you.
Wow. I want to applaud such wisdom. In all your searching, look out for accountability.
I think that before we go to the next question, let me just put a little flesh to what Ms. Nyan has said. It may not necessarily even be like a pastor or anything, right? It's like sometimes they want to dissociate you from the community, or to find a way to not let you have any rescue mission anywhere when anything comes. I don't know if you understand me. So you always want to make sure that the person also has somebody who can, draw them away from something they do which is not good, or they should be comfortable for you to want to let both of you talk to somebody. Otherwise, gradually, they don't want to. It's like they cut you off, and you are going through something. You can't even take yourself out. You can't rescue yourself. You're stuck because there's nobody to literally like pull you out. So that's one of the things you really need to look out for.
Yeah.
Thank
God
you
bless
so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Appreciate our panel. So moving to our next question, we appreciate the fact that most of us here are health students, so medical students, doctors, nurses, midwives, and those in other fields are having very hectic schedules. And we want to find out, as young professionals, how do we protect our relationships or marriages from the work pressure, the night shifts, and the demanding career schedules?
I'm yet to meet another young person like me who is busy. It's crazy. But yeah, I am a busy person. But I'm married, which is the beautiful part. And my marriage is working, which means that you can make it work as well. Let me take the question a little back to young people now who are saying that I'm busy right now, I have a lot of things going on, I don't want to commit. No, that's a clickbait. Like you are just lying to yourself. It's like you're just trying to find an excuse. And this is in context, because you might be in a place where the busyness means that you're really not ready with a few things. But if you're a young person who know that's where you are now, Pastor Brad, you're watching me. I can see you. Who knows now? Yeah, you know now that a few things are together for you, and you can be able to adjust. I think that it shouldn't be an excuse. Business shouldn't be an excuse. Now, to the point about how to manage your activities and managing your schedules as a married person, planning and prioritizing is very important, number one. And number two, advanced communication if you have the ability to. So sometimes what pastor will do will be, in the past, I had such a big problem with that because I was so single and very independent for a long time. And that's one of the things that a lot of ladies here who are very, self put together might have to work on and might have to deal with. Sometimes even some of you, even the boys, you haven't had a lady in your life to stay in the same room with you, and now you are married and you're sharing the same space, and you, the guy, you seem to do your things a certain way. You can just go and play FIFA with your friends without telling your mother that you are going anywhere. But now you have to report to the woman that I'm going to play FIFA. And sometimes the look on her face will let you know that please sit down. You're not going, right? So you need to communicate your activities along the line so that your partner would know that these are the things that you're involved in, like this is what you want to do. And then another thing too is making sure that every little time you get together, you make the best out of it. It's very important. If you are the kind who feel like, there's some people who it works for, where they can plan maybe every Saturday morning, let's do brunch. Maybe every Sunday afternoon, let's go and do fufu out of the home. Some of those things, you can implement them and it's nice. But if you are somebody who is married to someone like pastor, sometimes you would not get the chance to do those. So if pastor comes home, like your husband comes home maybe 8 or 9 p.m. and you have just 1 hour before bedtime to sit and chat and connect, you really want to do it, right? So take advantage of every little time that you have. Thank you.
Take advantage of every little time you have. Thank you so much, Lady Pastor.
Marriage is intentionality. If you want to do things anyway, anyhow, you can't do marriage. You must be intentional. So when you know that your work schedule is tight, like Lady Pastor said, proactive communication. Let the other person know that, okay, today this is how my day is going to be. This is how my week is going to be. Most of the times when we leave the house, my wife and I, when we leave the house, she leaves around 5 a.m. Then she's gone. She comes home like 7. Okay, so when she comes home, we make sure that we sit and chat. Especially when she comes home, when she's taking off her office wear and all of that. We are talking throughout. Making sure that I'm not distracted with any other thing. The time that she has come home is not the time that now I have someone to, okay, I have something to do. So now I'm talking to that person or trying to fix something somewhere. No, because time is precious. If you don't spend time together, a time will come you'll be very, very distant. Now, in the mornings when she gets to work, she has to text me that, babe, I'm at work. When she's on break, I'm on break. No, that's not, because I want to make sure that she's fine. Where we live and where she works is far. Now, if you get to work and you don't text me, how will I know you got there or you not get there? You understand? So it's about being intentional. And the fact that whenever you have time with your partner, you make the best of it. And then one of the other things we also do is we plan our lives together. Like, we are intentional about it. Okay, so she has 25 days. I have 20 days. So we now look at it. I think last year and last 2 years, what we did was our anniversary. So we plan, okay, your anniversary, you take like 5 days or 10 days off. You get it? So we are intentional about it so that at the end of the day, it won't be like we are not spending time together and all of that. So that's one of the things we can do.
Wow, wow. Be intentional about it. Thank you so much, Mr. Nyan. So moving on to our next question. Want to create a context where before you meet the one, you would have gone through thorns and thistles. You'd have had your heart broken. You'd have met people with whom you may have emotional attachments or entanglement. So the question here is, how should couples handle interactions with ex-partners? And then the next one says, and with the opposite sex. That in the context where usually when people get married, they said that's the time where they see other males and females more beautiful or handsome than their spouses.
Exes must not be near you anyway. Like, when you get married, like, one man of God says something. What you have to cancel, don't counsel. Most times we think that, oh, nothing is going to happen. Oh, she's still my friend. Oh, nothing happened. Oh, so I think it's okay. No, your partner becomes your priority, and anything that will cause any kind of hurt to your partner, you should not do it. So even though you think that nothing may happen between you and your ex, your partner feels that, I don't think I would want you to have that kind of communication. Because honestly, if it were you, you would also have a problem. If it were you on the other side, where your partner is talking to the ex and say, oh, nothing is happening, you're not going to believe it. You get it? So we should make sure that when we get married, you see, marriage, when we enter into it, it's not what you used to do when you, like Lady Pastor said, you were single, you were home, you can get up, go and play FIFA. You become, like, every step, you become accountable to your partner. So we must make sure that our exes are nowhere near us. For me, it's like, no, if we meet somewhere, oh, hello, hi, we are not enemies, but you are not my friend. You understand? You and I, we don't have anything to talk about. If we had something to talk about, well, you get it? So yeah.
Oh, let's appreciate that wisdom. Cut them off, like cut the ties. Lady Pastor.
Okay. I think that one of the reasons why this is very difficult for a lot of people to do is that the moment you move on, you become like Lot. You're always counting your losses behind you. Right. That's one of the reasons why you always feel like you want to go back and check and see whether, like, is there a chance to recoup what that I lost? Like, let me balance the sheet. That's just by the way. But anytime you get into a relationship that is working or a marriage that is permanent, your mindset should be, I am here to build something new. All things are gone. Whatever I lost, wherever it came from, it will come. And many times we consider only the women, but we forget that the men also struggle with this. Because you have been with this person and you've probably even spent the most on the person in your own life as far back as you can recall. So it feels like, oh, Men think very rationally. So the calculations, the benefit cost analysis. So one of the things that I always say is try as much as possible to not always count your losses. Let it go. Let it be like a bad debt. A bad debt is like waboka, and it's fine. Another thing as well is that when you are very focused and serious about making friend out of your partner, no other friend is important. Does it make sense? It's so much work, but you have to make sure that you build the ethic of friendship between you and your partner. I call it an ethic because it has to be a practice. It has to be with discipline, right? A lot of it, a lot of discipline. So you make sure that you build that form of friendship and relationship with your partner so much so that there is no room or window of excesses. And excesses doesn't only mean people you've been with in the past, but those who have the potential to dip their noses into what you're doing. And when you're able to find somebody who is a friend, I was speaking to somebody this week about a relationship, and there was a disparity between the person's expectations versus the reality. And the expectation was such that they were looking at the things that they have seen other people's partners do for them and what they have enjoyed in the past to equate to what they can potentially enjoy now. And my question to them was, do you have that expectation because it is what you need from the person in that particular time, on that material moment? Is that the expectation that you have? Number two, can the person serve that right now? Number three, will the person be able to serve that in the future? So if you answer yourself with these line of questions, there is very little anybody who is a third party can do to your relationship. Thank you.
Wow. Let's appreciate such wisdom to build the ethic of friendship with your partner. Thank you, our panelists. I'm enjoying this. Moving to our next question, we appreciate the fact that in marriages, we are embarking on a journey when you start. There are going to be times and seasons, changes in terms of conflicts and pressures. We want to find out what daily habits and spiritual disciplines can help a marriage stay strong through the pressures, through the conflicts, and through the changing seasons.
I have these magic words. I'm sorry, please, thank you, and then I love you. All the time. All the time. We've been together for 3 years by the grace of God. And every single time my wife does something for me, I say, babe, thank you. Anytime she does something or I do something that is not right, she just points it out, babe, I'm sorry. And every morning, even this morning, as I was leaving, I said, babe, I love you. So throughout the changing seasons, these things don't change. You understand? So there will be times where you may have little agitations here and there and all of that. But I still say, I'm sorry. I still say, please. I still say, thank you. And I still say, I love you. And then another thing is praying together and then doing your devotionals together. Now, because of our schedule, we hardly do devotions together. But this is what we do. Anything I learn, when we come home, I'm like, hey, babe, this is what I was listening to. This is what I heard. And this, but that's how normally we do it now. For some time now, we can't, sit down and say, but we pray. As for the prayers there, morning when we leave for work, evening before we sleep. But the devotionals, because our time is, very, very limited. Anything I'm learning, anything I hear, sometimes you're on Instagram, I see something, and I'm like, oh, babe, this is what I heard this man of God say, and it was so powerful, it resonated with me. What do you also think? And that's what we do. Even last night before we slept, we were talking about marriage, talking about how far we have come, talking about the things that has helped us. You understand? So these are some of the little things that helps us through all the changing seasons. Thank you.
I would add to all the incredible things he said, because these are very practical and they're not textbook. They are real things that you have to Some of us may not know how to do them, but you have to learn how to do them. One of the things that I initiated very early when Pastor and I got together was trying as much as possible to block any negative stories of marriages and relationships that would find a way to come up in our conversations. Sometimes it was not conscious because we are in the age frame where, and most of you will get to that point where it's like all your friends. I remember there's a young lady called Dr. Kusia, one of the ladies that work with Esidal. And if we watch her status, like every Saturday, she has about 3 weddings that she's posting. You would get to that point where all your friends are, for those of you in final year, when you are done, give yourself like 1 year, your friends will not be getting married, right? So you would grow with that circle of people who are consistently getting married. And as you go along, so for those of you who feel like, oh, you're late, and maybe you want to give yourself a few more years, you will get to a point where those who actually married before you now, unfortunately, might be falling out of some of these marriages. And all these stories, hey, did you hear this person did this? I didn't hear, I don't have intentions to hear. I pray for them, but they are not my problem. Sometimes it's good for conversation, but also words in some of these things, right? They linger, and it's one of the reasons why you would always be encouraged to play maybe good music at home, because you have to set a tone. Unfortunately, sometimes for some people, if you're not able to control the particular thing somebody's partner did, you are unconsciously asking yourself, hey, this is something that a human being can do to me. And so when it doesn't even look like it, or when it looks like, oh, there's just a little hint of, so if I'll give an example, maybe some you keep hearing, I think on this week somebody posted something about a man fainting because the wife had built a house and rented to the couple, and for like 3 years or so, they were paying rent to the wife, and the man didn't know that the house was theirs. If you hear something like this, you've put it in your pocket, you get married, in a couple years, your wife is like, oh, I want to go and buy this property. You're like, because you probably have thought that this is something that somebody can do to you. But the moment there's so much positivity, and even if the story comes, you just try to, because they have spiritual implications. You may not know, right? And so that's one of the things that I would want to mention to add to most of these things. Make sure you filter the things that you hear. Make sure you filter the things that people tell you about what is going on in their lives when you are in a marriage or in a relationship by yourself. Thank you.
I'd like to say something. Something happened early in our relationship. I was on Twitter like most of the times, and at that time, you hear things like, this one has done this to the partner, that one has done that to the partner. Every time, like, it's trouble somewhere in someone's relationship. And it got to a time, now I was thinking too in my head. Maybe my partner is doing something like that. So even when they say something like they are just playing, or they make a move, or maybe I call her and she doesn't pick. She's not picking. Then I realized that no, it's what I've been feeding into my spirit. That is what is making me now think that she's doing all of those things. So it's very, very important that you block out every negative, like you block it out. You block it out.
Please, how do you deal with a partner who is rude, insulting, disrespectful, or quarrelsome? And I want us to look at it in the context of marriage and then before marriage, where you are dating or courting.
In the context of dating, you would have to find a way to talk to your partner. Let him or her understand that the way you talk to me, I don't think it's nice. I think it's very disrespectful, and I don't like it. Now, when you do that and it doesn't change, like I said, reporting to someone that can put him right or put her right. Now, if you do these two things and it doesn't work, run. Now, when it comes to the context of marriage, what I would say is that, like I said, you would have to find a way and talk to your partner and let him or her understand that how he or she is, talking and all of that is very disrespectful and all of that. But then also I would say pray. I didn't add prayers because you can't carry that burden in relationship. No, 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 no. But if you are already married, it means that you would have to add serious prayers. Amen. Very serious prayers. And then make sure that there is someone that both of you can go and talk to. Because like I said, sometimes what the other person is seeing is not what you are seeing. And when you are trying to point it out, the other partner will say, why are you talking about my matter? Oh, you are telling me I don't respect and all of that. So when we have another person there, let's just assume that there is a problem in my house. And then I'm saying this and my wife is saying that. And my wife says, look, I'm coming to talk to Pastor Albert. I'll be straight. Do you get it? I'll be straight. I have no other option than to be straight. So when there is someone who can put them right or put her right, I think that you have a way to go. Yeah, thank you.
You have a way to go, definitely.
I will take it from the angle of people taking responsibility to work on themselves individually. I'm here to find somebody who just walks around organically and decides that if you've not come to touch me, I'll come and show you disrespect. There are a few people out there who have problems, but that those ones are exceptions. Very sane, level-headed people would not walk into your life and start, giving you or showing you some level of disrespect. You might have done something, you might have triggered something. And I'm saying this not because I'm trying to justify somebody's actions about showing you disrespect, but if you are someone who understands emotional boundaries, right? Who understands how to treat people so that they give you the same ripple effect, you would know the best way, right? So let me give you an example. Let's say I am with Persis and we're talking. Persis start throwing very sarcastic things at me. She gives me an impression her threshold is very low when it comes to regard, right? Organically, it's either I match up to that energy or I stay in that very demure phase with her. And gradually, my expectation is because of how she's seeing that I am responding to her, because of how I try to compose myself, she begins to advise herself to change the way that she talks to me. I don't know if I'm making sense. So if you keep matching negative with the negative energy she's giving, you think that you are equalizing disrespect with disrespect, then it's like both of you are throwing each other in the gutters, right? So how do you manage this thing? You might meet somebody who has a way of talking or presenting themselves and they don't even know that there's something wrong with it, right? But you constantly trying to let them know that this is wrong and they finding grudge with it may not be solving the problem unless you find a way. And recently, I tell you, Pastor keeps saying that, haven't you seen that these days, if you are throwing tantrums, I just keep calm? It's because the two of us can't be doing that. And gradually, I like my level of tantrums as a woman has reduced because sometimes you're like, I want to fight. And the woman will understand me. There's a time in your life every month that you really want to fight. Like, your emotions is just flying out. And sometimes it is the man or the partner who would have to be the bigger person. So whether you're a man or the woman, always know and learn that you would have to be the bigger person to help the other person to unlearn that habit of disrespect. I don't know if I'm making sense. It's conscious is not easy because they will say something and you really want to give them a response. It's like, this thing you said, I have to match you. But learning to be executive in your interactions with your partner also helps. Thank you.
Learning to be executive with the interactions of your partner. A round of applause for my distinguished panelists, ladies and gentlemen. What an awesome time it's been. So now over to you. We want to find out from you any questions you may have had during the course of the discussion, or okay, we have a couple of hands.
Thank you very much for sharing your wisdom on marriage and relationships. Now, I want to ask submissiveness on the side of the woman is mostly associated with domestic roles like cooking, cleaning, and other stuff. And then, in the case where you get a help, they mostly associate it with neglect or shame. So, what's your Christian view on that? If you have the means to hire a private chef or a cleaner.
Number one, to answer your question, submissive is not just only equivalent to your domestic responsibilities. No, 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 at all. I think that if anything at all, that could actually be what society has defined as duties and obligations of a wife. But also that's also very socially contested. Let me put it that way, because I grew up in a home where we're all girls. My father is the only man in the house, and my father till today brags that he makes the best food because he cooks very well, and so he doesn't have to wait for anybody. He would make his own very good jollof. So that is not it for me. Submission as a woman is your ability to be a follower of the leadership of your husband, right? Being a follower of a leader in many aspects of the life. So when it comes to decision, ultimatums, life angles, and paths that needs to be taken, spiritual leaderships, financial leadership, and whatnot, it is your ability to subject you know I knew a few couples who at one point of their life, and this is not like for everybody's life, but at one point of the family's life, the man had a few financial challenges, and before they'll go for a funeral or a family gathering or something that needs contribution, what the woman will do is to give the envelope to the man, and then they would go, and then the man would do a contribution, and it and you would never know. And it's a way of saying, I expect that authority that you have, in as much as in that material moment it's not something you can be able to do. I am a compliment to you and your energy and your strength. So these are some of the things. Sometimes um it even means that, so for instance, I live in a Pastor and I will live in a place with a very big compound. Pastor is orderly busy, very busy. He won't pay attention to letting maybe a garden man come to do maybe the grounds work and all of that. And I would take that initiative and I would do it, right? Somebody will say, well, if you're submitting, then he should only be the person who would do all those because he's the overseer of the house, right? So let's gender the roles and make it, he doesn't have the time to do certain things. Can he do them? Yes. If he has a chance, would he do them? Yes. But he can't do them. And then we switch sides, things that pastor can be able to do to make me a very comfortable follower. So if there is an interaction between a leader and the follower, the ability for the leader to seek opinions from the follower, the ability of the leader, it's the same basic social studies things that we apply in our lives. That's work if you are able to understand. And also the ultimate thing is understanding the role God has given the man with the union that you've come into. Thank you.
I would like to add something. When it comes to marriage, like I think Lady Pastor said that it's because of our culture that we've actually defined roles for genders. Now, me, I'm not saying this. My wife has never washed. Yes, I do the laundry. I clean. I since she got pregnant with her first child, that was in 2023. She has never scrubbed the bathhouse. I do. So it's not about because you're the woman, you're supposed to submit to your husband. So okay, then all the the cleaning works around the house. No. For some time, I think about a year ago, I had time on my hands. So and up till now I still do them. So it's not about okay, because I'm the woman and then you are the man, I have to submit. So I would have to do all the no. And I want to talk to the men here. The fact that you are the man does not mean that I can't wash or clean or do anything. No. We are supposed to support them because of the society we grew up in, everything is on the woman. It's not supposed to be so. When your wife is cooking, then you are in the hall, and then you've crossed your leg and you are watching football and all of that. No. Me, I love football, but if there's work to be done, I can't sit at the hall, watch TV, and then my wife is cooking, and then one baby is just jumping, then you are just there. No. So that's another way of loving your wife, that we are together in all of this. All right. Thank you.
Thank you for listening to the sermons of Reverend Dr. Albert Agbi. Be sure to follow us on Instagram at Edify Church Life. Listen to more of his sermons on our Telegram at Edify Sermons and Edify Church Spotify platforms. Thanks for being a part of our Edify Church family. Be blessed by this word of God.